Good afternoon, Virginia Roslers and
Hi,
Eleanor.
Eleanor. Hello.
We've been getting all excited making arrangements to go to Alaska with Armin, but right now we're here to read a book for Eleanor.
Yeah, we're headed to Texas in this book.
Meanwhile, Back at the Ranch by Trina Hakes Noble. Pictures by Tony Ross. Here's the cover. And this book is really kind of special. If you'll notice in there, your mother had it autographed by
Your mother?
your grandmother had it authorized. Well, Chris could be,
Yeah.
who knows.
The author came to my school and I bought the book and she signed it. Really cool.
So anyway, here's the opening picture. You can see the two characters here working the fields there, shoveling and hoeing and weeding. And then the story unfolds. And Rancher Hicks lived out west. As far as the eye could see, there was nothing, not even a roaming buffalo. So nothing much ever happened. See Rancher Hicks in the house, and not much to see there. I think I'll drive into town and see what's happening, said Rancher Hicks. Want to ride along, Elna? He asked his wife.
No, I've got to dig potatoes, said Elna.
So Rancher Hicks climbed into his truck and drove 84 miles to the town of Sleepy Gulch. He stopped at the post office and to look at the new wanted posters, but they were the same ones that were there 12 years ago. There's Rancher Hicks talking to his wife Elna, and there he driving off to Sleepy Gulch.
Oops. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the cat had just had kittens in Elna's sewing basket when the phone rang. Hello? Mrs. Elna Hicks? Yes? Mrs. Hicks, you have just won a brand new wall-to-wall, frost-free refrigerator, freezer, and food maker. Why, I never, Elna exclaimed. The delivery men are on the way. Look at all the kittens in the basket and more under here.
Meanwhile, back in Sleepy Gulch, Rancher Hicks strolled on over to the barber shop for a whisker trim and to hear the latest gossip. So what's new, Bob? Asked Rancher Hicks. Well, back in the spring of '49, we had a rainstorm you wouldn't believe. Why, it rained for pretty near a whole 5 minutes. Folks thought it'd never stop. Nothing much been happening since. And there you see in Sleepy Gulch, there's Rancher Hicks getting his whiskers trimmed. There's everybody just sort of standing around, pointing at the sky, looking at a flower grow. Not much happening in Sleepy Gulch.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the dog had just had puppies when the postman came up the driveway with a special delivery. Elna opened it. It was a letter from her great aunt Edith. With her will, it said, "My dear Elna, I'm leaving you my entire estate, which is worth a bundle. Your lovin' great aunt Edith. P.S. Enclosed is a winning lottery ticket. I didn't have time to cash it in." So Elna cashed in the lottery ticket and put new siding on the house, and then she added a new wing for the wall-to-wall refrigerator and a new den for all the puppies and kittens. Whoa, look how big that house is getting.
Meanwhile, back in Sleepy Gulch, Rancher Hicks moseyed on over to Millie's Mildew Luncheonette. "What's on the menu for today, Millie?" "We got potatoes mashed and potatoes fried, potatoes boiled, potatoes baked, potatoes roasted, potatoes stewed, potatoes scalloped, potatoes steamed, and 1 egg." "Sounds great," said Rancher Hicks, "and I'll have one of each and a side order of fries." So there is Rancher Hicks in Sleepy Gulch with somebody's dog, and there he is getting served all of them potatoes. And there's a sleepy cat at the table with him,
And a mouse.
and a mouse hiding under it. The cat isn't even going after the mouse.
Nope. Too sleepy. Turn the page.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, after all the pigs had piglets, Elna finally started to dig potatoes. And she struck oil. Oh my goodness. The oilmen came and gave her lots of money. And they started 8 new oil wells and an oil refinery that day. Elna took the money and had a very stylish sty built for all the pigs and piglets. Whoa, there's some oil wells. The farm's getting bigger and bigger, and there are all the piglets.
Meanwhile, back in Sleepy Gulch, Rancher Hicks headed on over to the general store to check out the checker game. "Howdy, boys, what's new?" "Well, Bernie here just got a king, and it only took him 2 weeks," said Kurt. "And I just jumped 2 of Kurt's men in a little over 2 hours," said Bernie. "Wow, what a game," said Rancher Hicks. "I can't wait to tell Elna." So here's Rancher Hicks, and he's going over to the general store where they're playing checkers there out on the porch. Looks like a real slow game, if you ask me. Oh, my fingers are so dry. Too much hand washing going on.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, all the cows had calves when a silver limo swung into the driveway and out jumped a Hollywood movie producer and his hairdresser. "Elna, Hicks, I'm going to make you a movie star." So Elna went on a diet and lost 20 pounds. Whoa, in one day. The hairdresser dyed her hair blonde and painted her lips red. The movie producer gave her a script, a bikini, and a large stack of dollar bills. So Elna had a glamorous cow palace built for all the cows and calves and studied her script. Look at the cow palace. There's a cow on top. Oh, kind of like it looks like Vegas. Ah, she's getting all excited.
Meanwhile, back in Sleepy Gulch, Rancher Hicks started to cross Main Street when he saw it. "Amazing," he gasped. Folks ran to see it. "Incredible," they said. A crowd gathered. "This is big news, really big," said the newspaper editor. "We better wake up the mayor," said the sheriff. The mayor came. "Why, I've never seen anything like it," he said. So he declared it a town holiday. The whole town watched it for hours and hours until finally a turtle crossed Main Street. There's the turtle there, and there's the sheriff and all the people in town, and Rancher Hicks just looking on in amazement as that turtle crosses the main street in town. Big excitement.
What a slow town, huh? Meanwhile, back at the ranch, all the horses had colts when the president's helicopter landed in Elna's yard. Elna, Hicks, he said, you've got the finest horses west of Washington. I'm making you a diplomat. Please deliver 2 of your finest horses to the Queen of England. The president paid Elna for the horses and gave her a diplomat's diploma and an autographed picture, of himself. Wow, cool. Don't forget to vote for me. Elna took the money and had a very stately stable built for all the horses and colts. Whoa, they're all blowing away from the helicopter blade, aren't they?
Always liked those stately stables.
Yep.
Meanwhile, back in Sleepy Gulch, the sun began to sink slowly in the west. Rancher Hicks felt bad that Elna had missed all the excitement, so he stopped and bought her a box of Cracker Jacks. This will make her day, he said. Then he climbed into his truck and drove the 84 miles back to the ranch. He met Elna Hicks down by the mailbox. He gave her a box of Cracker Jacks and told her all about the excitement.
Shoot, I miss everything, said Elna.
Then Rancher Hicks turned around. I guess we'll have to wait for the next page to see what happens. There he is driving back home. There he is by the mailbox, all excited that he got Cracker Jacks for Elna. And all the animals, the dogs and the cats and the pigs seem happy that he's home with Cracker Jacks. He turns around and says, "What the hey?" This is what he sees when he turns around then. Instead of a little old farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere, there's a cow palace and a stately stable and oil wells and refineries, and my gosh, what's been going on here?
Meanwhile, Elna opened her box of Cracker Jacks, and inside she found a real diamond ring. Oh my gosh. And there's Rancher Hicks. I think he fainted. His feet are sticking up in the air. And that's the end. Wow. Do you think these things could really happen in one day, all in one day to one person?
Sure.
Sure makes for a fun story, though, doesn't it? I think Elna had a lot more fun in her day than Rancher Hicks. What do you think?
I don't know. He seemed pretty excited.
Yeah, he got to see his friends. That's a good thing. All right, well, we love you. Hope you enjoyed our story, Meanwhile Back at the Ranch. Bye. Have a great weekend.
Enjoy Memorial Day.
Love you.